Hello, 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 hello. What's going on, everybody? Welcome now, Stock Trades. How's everybody doing today? All right, ladies and gentlemen, in this video, we're going to go ahead and talk about Opendoor and Clover Health. We're going to, the reason why I'm talking about both of them at the same time is because they're both chamath, palihapitiya SPACs. One is more closer to a turnaround than the other based off of the fundamental data that we have in regards to the Al Stock Trade stock terminal platform. Shout out to all the members that have joined lifetime access. Please integrate. You have not done so. And for the folks that are still on the edge, $1,200 off lifetime access. Get it while it lasts. We go to zero to hero and we teach you how to do options. We teach you how, it's just going to be a whole, it is going to be truly a mastery class, but it's infused with data. So we give you the data. So we're actually a software company. All right. Likewise, I've been doing some due diligence regarding Sydney Sweeney, and the American advertisement is coming back. So I'm liking what I'm seeing. And of course, obviously, we've had some increases in the stock. And I think the due diligence that I saw, if I was to recall, give me a moment here, because this is some serious due diligence, guys. Right? I mean, this is the type of DD that, people pay for, right? So apparently this guy said he's all in on Sydney Sweeney. He put $68,000. He put in $68,000 for the Sydney Sweeney pump. I mean, if the casino's not back on, I don't know what is, guys. And you can see, look at this. The guy bought at 10 and the stock now is up 22%. On what? You know what? Guys, I got to go. I got to go buy me some jeans. I got to buy me some Sydney Sweeney jeans, right? All right, guys. Anyway, the casino's coming back online, so that's good to see. I even know who Sydney Sweeney is, to be honest with you. Let me Google her real quick. Who is she? She's like young. She's 27. That's why I don't know her. I don't know any of these movies. I don't know who this lady is. Why is she famous? I don't know who she is. Anywho, the internet seems to love her, but I don't know who she is. Okay, so enough with Sydney Sweeney. Let's go ahead and do some due diligence, okay? Enough with this distraction. We men of culture have to remain focused, okay? Men of culture strikes again. All right, guys, let's see what's going on here. B-Rob, what's going on? Hey, everybody's in the house. All right. Okay, not some of that. All right, LOL. Yeah, you like that? All right, so trending stocks, Ape Wisdom. This basically goes ahead. It's a data platform that conglomerates the number of messages that's happening for a given ticker. As you can see right now, Clover Health is in the top 5. Now, again, if you look at the mentions, it's again, it's not like its mentions are high. It's up 1,900%. So it's very clear that it is in the lead. It's just it's not the highest mentioned. Opendoor is. But Opendoor is it looks like it's on its way down, but potentially it could be going into a reversal. We're going to look at the short data. We're going to look at all the data. But it's very clear now that a lot of folks are starting to say, well, hold on for a sec. Opendoor had a run. Is it time for Clover? But Clover already kind of did, but that was because it was a free cash flow run. So the idea here, guys, is a lot of people, like I said, are pre-anticipating. Hold on, guys. Dogs are fighting. Love each other. Come on. Enough fighting. All right, good. So back to the business here. People are front running buying Clover right now because they're anticipating saying, well, hold on. If Opendoor basically increased like this, then why not Clover Health, right? And we already are starting to see from SoFi that it's basically about to, we're going to get to a point where it's nearing all-time highs, right? Ethereum is about to break out of new all-time highs. Small caps are soon going to follow. And what's going to end up happening is you're going to get a resurgence in these stocks. And a lot of people that sold out here, we were banging the drums, telling folks this is an opportunity, especially for Clover and Palantir when it was around $6, right? And you can watch the videos. Our videos are quite detailed. So that's kind of where we're at right now. And they're pre-running this. And it's starting to happen. But again, this is all preliminary. All this is hearsay for me until Clover is profitable. Okay. And I'm going to explain to you kind of what I mean by that. While we're going to do this video, Oscar's going up. It's up 8% today. Clover's up 6% plus another 1% after hours. Palantir's up 3%. We're going to do the cover calls again to see what it looks like if we were to just get paid this week. Okay. So you can see the difference. Also, shout out to this guy. He made a video about us. Albert Allen. Is he right? That's awesome. I mean, hey, props to you for getting in front of a camera. It's tough, dude. I myself, I need to turn on the camera myself. It's been a while, but I just been, just been busy with medicine. So I just need to get a haircut and get all cleaned up and stuff and whatnot. But yeah, so nice video. I think it's pretty much it is what it is with institutions, and it's unfortunate, but I think people are getting educated and people are starting to realize kind of how this works. So here's Opendoor in terms of institutions, and you can see this bad boy here. They opened up a short position against Opendoor. But what's funny is they opened it in May, and they're probably not doing well because the stock price went up. But if we were to now, since we're talking about shorts, if we were to talk about Opendoor shorting right now, you could see that in the past, just let's say 7 days, guys, just 7 days, the short percent went from 20.45% to 31.99%. So again, I'm going to say this again. Okay. The shorts, the short interest percent of free float, okay, went from 20.45% to 31.99%, an increase by 56%. Guys, this is a short squeeze candidate. Okay. The short score is turning back online, 76.96. We have 479 millions of short interest value. Shares on loan, 414. Short interest, 209 shares. But here's the kicker. Look at the days to cover. It went down by 5%. Listen, guys, these people have learned from GME and AMC. They went ahead and dropped this so they can exit. And just in case, if they don't have the exit liquidity, we can use our software that's part of lifetime access, and we can see how many shares they have. And I think if they really get caught, they could release their shares, dump them in the market, cause the stock price to go down, so they don't have to cover. Okay. And the cost to borrow, exactly. Mention yes. Don Al, when you pay for the lifetime access, do you still pay for the calculation 2K? No. Who said that? Absolutely not. Wait. What do you mean? What do you mean by do you pay for the calculation 2K a month? No. Okay, listen. Yeah, hold. Okay. This here, these calculations are all lifetime. They're all lifetime. There isn't like, yeah, I get it. People out there, they say lifetime, they don't mean it. So when I say lifetime, you say access. And I'm just kidding. I felt like saying that. Let me just open up Al Stock Trades for a sec, okay? So just Don, if you can here, normally Bloomberg. So I think you're confusing this. Wall Street level financial data without the $30,000 yearly price target. I mean, sorry, the $30,000 a year. Normally, if you want to get a Bloomberg terminal, or you would pay 30 grand a year. With ours, no, it's lifetime access, one-time payment, lifetime access. And I'm very surprised no one has done this mistake. And I'm going to just say it so people don't do it, because it really causes issues. Please, if you can, I know it's a big sale, take advantage, right? Put SAAS. Do not forget to do this. Hit apply. Someone said they put it in, but they didn't hit apply. I asked them, hey, can you show me what you did? You got to hit apply. This was like a while ago, so you guys have been doing great. You get your $1,200 off, and then that's it. And then now you have Klarna, which then you get access to. Klarna gets access to a lot of folks, so it's worldwide, right? In terms of if you want to pay through that angle, there's multiple modalities here. Okay, but that's how you do it. Okay, so hopefully that was helpful. Let's go back to business here. Oh, good. Okay, purchase day for 30. Okay, excellent. Okay, so I think the reason why for Canadian, I think it's because there's a tax, and I blame your country, and I blame Europe. Europe has something called a VAT tax, and I don't touch any of that. That's not that has nothing to do like I don't touch any of that. Your country asks for this money because you have to pay, which is so silly because your country did nothing. First off, your country did nothing to build this, right? So I don't know why they're taxing a VAT tax. It's like some bullshit thing I learned, like stuff they don't teach you in school. VAT tax. Look at this. Look at this garbage. Is it called VAT? Yeah. Europe. I think Europeans know about this. Yeah, there it is. This is the bull crap. This freaking European crap here. And there's one in Canada too. It's like the value added tax. What is that value added? Get the hell out of here, right? So I think that's why. So it's unfortunate. I have no control over it. That's why I've noticed that a lot of our sales, we have a lot of members from Canada, Europe, obviously the USA. We have a lot of folks really try to take advantage of this sale because their countries are ripping them off. Why are you charging tax on a product that was not made in Europe? Anywho, that's just my I'll get off my soapbox. I'm obviously American, so we don't like taxes, right? So let's see here. Hey there. What does it mean when higher options chain are available and weren't before? For example, 8 strike call. Okay, essentially that's a good question. We see it for Clover. A lot of it's also derived from intrinsic value, from more of a Monte Carlo sequence projection, not so much intrinsics actually. My apologies. So a lot of it's really on momentum and derivative play, and it's almost like they take the derivative of the rate of the price increase. And what it basically says is a lot of folks are gambling, saying, hey, you know what? They believe that, they are going to like get to that strike price level given the momentum. And the thing is with options, it's a zero-sum game, right? You have winners and losers, and it's zero-summed out. The beautiful part is I don't like to buy options. I don't like to buy puts or calls. I like to sell options. And with that, it's very powerful for me. And of course, you can sell options, and then you can use the premium to buy options. So it's like kind of free money in a way. But there's other strategies we'll talk about. But it's not. I'm just from the perspective of education. Selling options is honestly the best, and we're going to be talking about that again today. And I feel like sometimes I have to repeat myself a couple of times using the Clover new data, Oscar new data, and Palantir new options data to really get that education right. Okay. So yes, B-Rad Cooley, welcome to the terminal, Don. Again, listen, Don, you're here for life. To really truly experience this product that's life-changing, you need to be in it for life. The next 6 months, your brain is going to completely change. And then after your second and third year, you're going to be a completely, totally different person, right? You're going to realize the bullshit. Like, for example, Jim Cramer saying some crap about Clover, and you're going to look at the data, and you're going to know more than the talking heads, and you're going to see it. And then for all the lifetime members that are on the call right now, lifetime access members, you could go ahead and chime in to see if you've also experienced this little X-ray superpower that you've developed. Okay. It's okay. You're a great guy also. And CLOV, Neo. So yeah, and you can use the intrinsic value for all of these calculations, and there's no monthly. You're locked in for life. Any updates, any improvements, you're locked in for life. Okay. So there it is. Just don't go on the politics channel. It's all family, but when you go in there, you're going to get your head cut off and your balls cut off, but it's okay. Right. All right. Talk about Clover and demo. Okay. We'll talk about that. We'll, especially the technical setup right now. The technical setup looks good. Usually it's open. There it is. Yeah. So definitely read John here. Excellent since joining. Excellent. Okay, good. So now we just wanted to make sure we answer this question with Dawn here. So welcome, Dawn, to the family. This is going to be life-changing. I can tell you that. All right. So, okay. So I want to do my bearings. Since we talked about open short, let's talk about CLOV short. So here's CLOV. CLOV in the past 7 days increased by 2.5%. Short interest values increased as well. Everything's going up except one thing: days to cover. Days to cover. Let me make sure. Days to cover has actually gone down. Days to cover. Wait, what am I saying? Yeah, days to cover is actually going down. It went from 6.5 to 6.4. Okay. They're slowly trying to basically bring this down. Okay. And then you have the updated short report from Belize coming out tomorrow. So that'll be interesting to see how this works. And I think that this is setting itself up for a technical breakout. So we have that. What else? Yes. So now let's go ahead, and I wasn't going to release this to you guys for Clover Health institutional data, but it's only fair to release it to you for just to see like what's in our deep dive educational research division from Al Stock Trades. So this shows you institutions where they're buying at, and you can see how bullish institutions are. So what the hell is this? It's a bunch of math. I make it simple for you and I break it down. It's an interactive chart, right? And it's an interactive document. And what we do is for Clover, we've analyzed 337 institutional transactions. So we went ahead and looked at institutions and we saw the transactions and what are they doing? Are they net buyers? Are they net sellers? What are they doing? And we did a lot of statistical maneuvering and equations that are mathematically sounding to figure out, at what level are they buying or are they selling? What are institutions doing? And if they're selling, at what level are they selling? And if they're buying, at what level are they buying? Now, the beautiful part about this is when they're buying, you can see exactly what levels they're buying at, right? And this changes every 3 months. This changes everything, and it shows you, and everything's statistically significant, right? And it gives you a whole bunch of mathematical modeling, a whole bunch of things, who's increasing their positions, why they're increasing their positions from a mathematical perspective. And the goal here is to, as soon as we start seeing institutions sell, we will know, okay? Because the data is so clean that we'll be able to see that, okay, is this selling statistically significant or is this like a dumbass selling? Institutions they're like, they're stupid. And interns hitting the sell button, okay? Like you can see how it's green. You can see how it's all beautiful for Clover, right? But if you look at Opendoor, it's all red, right? Opendoor, they're selling. And if you would have looked at the scatter plot analysis, you would have known that the buying was heavy here. The buying was heavy here under the $5 range. But as soon as you got to the $5, it started getting weak. And then all of a sudden the selling pressure became strong. And then all of a sudden, you dropped, right? Now, I'm not saying that, we could get more buyers in, but I'm just saying that institutions are selling right now until proven otherwise based off of this data. And then the next 3 months, once they file again, actually the filing is going to be in 2 weeks from now, I think, two to 3 weeks from now. And we're going to go ahead and recalibrate this. And we're going to go ahead and get new data, not only for open, but we're also going to go ahead and get it for Clover Health, right? And the thing is, I am not going to be showing you guys this information anymore. I'm not going to be showing you Clover's information anymore. Why? Because we're going to be when this stock goes to intrinsic value, this portfolio is going to end up basically turning into an 8 to 15, $20 million portfolio. And then I'm going to go ahead and with my lifetime access members, we're going to go on a live call and I'm going to show you how I am in real time doing options, how I'm making and milking cash. And we're going to be on the call. We're going to talk about it. We're going to explore it. We're going to play mental gymnastics. We're going to make falafel out of it. And we're going to go ahead and cut it up. And we're going to make tabbouleh out of it. And we're going to make garlic sauce out of it. And we're going to go ahead and just exhaust the conversation with covered calls and cash secured puts until you walk out with being a genius, right? With this. But the problem is we need to have an edge above the market. And to have an edge, we need research like this. The problem is I can't go out there and publish this research, just show off that research, because ultimately it's going to, this type of research is going to explode. Okay. Especially when Clover ends up exploding, right? I'll give you an example just to give you the level of research. Like you can't find research. It's good. It's easy to see when someone has good research. Okay. It just makes sense. So I went ahead and posted this research and this got 113,000 views. Okay. I posted this research and it got 118,000 views. Okay. So this one got 113,000. And this is, here's the problem. I can't post the Clover because it's going to remove the edge of the lifetime access members. So by the time Clover explodes, lifetime access would be $10,000 to $20,000 instead of the $2,800 it is now, based off of $1,200 off using coupon code. And then the people that believe in the beginning are going to be the beneficiaries of this because, again, I'm an obsessive and this is something that, I'm going to be doing for the next 30 years. So folks that want to join this mission, pay for the data, because again, that's why it's expensive, is the data. Then we're going to go ahead and essentially be able to use these sheets and documents to figure out exactly what institutions are selling, follow it up with our fundamental analysis, follow it up with our price target calculation, because you'll be able to learn how to do a price target on your own, and also with the hedge fund level research here. Okay, so there's that. Let me drink some water. So here, also learn how to play the options chain thanks to Al and others in the group, and have made a stupid amount of FU money worth it, in my opinion. There it is, right? So we created a new word in our lifetime access members. It's called FU money. You know what F stands for? It's a cuss word, okay? It means blow off money. We now are at a position where we're making FU money. It's like this is just F off money, right? It's like, all right, I don't need this, but it's my FU money, so it's fine, right? Again, what we're doing right now is we're taking, honestly, man, this is my favorite. Let me see let me try to show you what I'm trying to do. Okay. Okay. This is what I'm trying to do. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and pull this. Okay. This is what I'm doing. Okay. Just so you can see. Okay. This is what I'm doing. Okay. I'm using my stock terminal to pull the data from Wall Street. Okay. And I'm taking this data from Wall Street, a freaking planet, right? They separate themselves with an atmosphere called Wall Street. And I take this data and I use my power in teaching, the platform, and pull that data and pull that opportunity, all that cash, and I pull it right into Main Street investors. I take all of that and I push it towards you. Okay? That is the mission of the platform. Okay? And I don't give a fuck. Okay? So I'm tired of the poor getting poor, And I'm tired of the rich getting rich. And it's time that you all have the same power in the software as the rich do. Okay. All right. So there's that. Okay. So we talked about this. So now let's go ahead. We talked about that. We showed you that, this research, when the time comes, it is going to go viral. So I'm going to have to keep it inside of Lifetime because it won't be an edge anymore, unfortunately. Okay. And then, yes, Vivek. So Vivek, tweeted today. So true. He said pretty much, founders at the start, you don't need to convince the world. You just need to convince a small group of people who care deeply. And that's very true. And that's the same thing with Al stock trades, right? We didn't have to convince the world, right? We convinced a small group of people, the OGs. We showed them what we're trying to build. We showed them and shared them the vision of what we're trying to do. And they cared deeply about it. And now we have a product that is actually able to generate alpha. Okay. Alpha is above market returns. Okay. Okay. Oh my God. Okay. So July 21st, we were talking about, the open thing, and we're just trying to help folks. But, July 21st was like here. So it was like right at the peak. So it was pretty much at like peak stupidity. Right. So we went ahead and someone was posting saying, Albert, start sharing jiu-jitsu logic. They're calling my research jiu-jitsu logic to scare you into buying open. I've never seen this before. I guess it makes sense. All these equations. I mean, this kind of looks like, you guys are funny. This kind of does look like jiu-jitsu logic. It's called math. Okay. It's called freaking math. But anyway, we'll call it jiu-jitsu logic, right? So folks that sign up for lifetime access, you'll learn how to do jiu-jitsu logic. I will teach you jiu-jitsu. Wax on, wax off, right? So so Shay went ahead and said he's using outdated data. Okay, first off, how do you know I'm using outdated data? No, just because they see this $14, they don't understand that that's their average share positions, and it's showing me that if they're selling, so what this is telling me is it's left heavy loaded. They have average share of, let's say, $18, and they're selling now in the past 3 months at an average $18.20. So technically that means there's a heavy selling pressure in the left end. But what I did is I normalized it and I made it to where it looks like this. So it's more conservative than what it looks like. So it's actually more selling pressure than what our research is anticipating. As you know, it's like my, 5% of revenue, right? Instead of doing, it's very conservative. But anyway, okay, this is what he says. Meanwhile, his CLOV followers are stuck holding a dead trade. Again, investing. We're investing. We're not trading. Okay. Then he says, time to sell CLOV and ride open. Okay. So then I go ahead and I facetiously retweet this because he's literally saying to sell Clover. And then everybody here is like laughing, right? Everyone's here is like, it's like, what the hell is this, right? And someone said, how old are you? Right? I don't know. I think maybe, I don't know who the hell is, I don't know who they're responding to, but he's saying to sell Clover. And this was 22nd. It shows you how dumb money is, right? So again, here's 22nd. And then now it's another 7%. I mean, I don't get it. I really don't get it. He's saying to sell Clover. Okay. So then now I go ahead and I responded today. I said, after 14 years in the market and building software for retail and institutional investors. Yes, institutional investors have a different access gateway for lifetime access, but they pay a lot more. They pay $25,000 and soon it'll be around $100,000 in the next couple of years. I've learned this is short-term noise often drowns out long-term opportunity. CLOV isn't dead. It's misunderstood. Let's revisit this in 3 years. So then I did not post my portfolio on X for this account here. He realized now he's speaking to money. he said time to sell CLOV and it's a dead trade. And now that, now so see what he says. He responds, "Hey, Alan, I loaded up on CLOV too. Over the next 3 years, I truly believe Open and CLOV will deliver some of the best returns. Let's ride. Best wishes." But didn't he say, meanwhile, his CLOV followers are stuck holding a dead trade, time to sell CLOV and ride Open? Again, what did I tell you guys? A lot of these folks, what they like to do, and I'm not calling Shay out from this, I'm just saying in general, all right, they like to get suckers into selling their portfolio, okay, and to ride the pump stock so they can dump it on you, right? So they wanted CLOV investors to buy at, a $5 Opendoor stock, $4.97 or whatever, right? Because he was talking at the peak, right? Because he was off of his euphoria drug. It was right when it had its peak. And all of a sudden now he went from his followers are holding a dead trade to sell CLOV to, "Hey, Alan, I loaded up on CLOV too. Over the next 3 years, I truly believe with Open." And again, I'm not trying to be an asshole here. I like the comment, right? I'm not trying to be a butthole here, okay? All I'm saying is just analyze people's brains. Analyze their decision. A life not examined is not a life worth living. I'm just saying, use the data. See what the guy's saying. July 22nd, he said time to sell. His, Al Stock Trade's followers are stuck holding this and this. And then that was the 22nd. And then today is the 23rd, a day after. "Hey, Alan, I loaded up on CLOV too. Woohoo! Woohoo!" Like, do you see this? There isn't any mental stability. Okay. It's just pure emotion. It's pure emotion with a bunch of just anti-jiu-jitsu math, right? So again, I post this because it's really, listen, guys, when it comes to investing, about 50% of it's psychology. Listen, guys, you can either learn from me or you can go pay $100,000 to $200,000 and go to Yale neuroeconomics, right? You could go to Yale and you go learn from Yale, from the professor of neuroscience here, professor of psychology, co-director of Princeton Neuroscience Institution, and you can learn about neuroeconomics, right? Right? So, and the difference is, I actually, I combine all this in one: neuroscience, psychology, and economic and finance. He doesn't put finance. Okay, so again, you could go to Yale, spend $200K, and be in the hole, or you can learn from me. Okay. You need to have a mental fortitude of a diamond when it comes to investing. You cannot be swayed by emotions, right? Exactly the whole being folded, right? I don't tune in all the time, but I love that you have had so much conviction. Well, that's the thing. The reason why I have a lot of conviction. So, you know what, man? Robert, that's a good segue, man. That's a good segue, man. You know what? Let's just go ahead and show you. So why do I have a lot of conviction? Well, because I have a software that you can have access to. So I'm going to go ahead and put Carvana. Okay. Carvana. Okay. Why do I have conviction in Carvana when it was $4? Why? Because look at the AI summary. So we did Carvana here. Our AI summary, let me zoom in so we can, I'm going to extra zoom in. What does the AI summary say here? 2023, OCF, FCF, and net income. Triple dragon. 2023 turned positive on all of them. What happened after that? Explosion, right? Right? Explosion. $4, right? Explosion. All right. Let's see. Is it the same for Palantir? Well, I don't know. Let's go put PLTR here. What does it say? Operating cash flow turned positive in 2021. Free cash flow 2021. Net income 2023. Triple dragon 2023. Explosion. All right, let's see what happened. 2023, $6. Explosion. Okay. All right. Oh, by the way, just so you know, right? Net income turned positive in 2023. It pulls the data. Here's net income. Here's 2023. It went from negative 373 million to 209 million. Positive, right? Negative to positive. And our AI does it automatically for you. You see that? We make it easy. Okay. Explosion. Okay. So now let's go ahead and let's okay, Mr. Yak, please explain this portfolio, right? Please explain this multi-million-dollar portfolio right now, okay? And soon it's going to end up basically exploding to 5 to 10 million, right? Yak, if you can make better returns than me, then you can go ahead and come online, and I would love to learn from you. But if not, you could just keep yakking away, Mr. Yakking. Total terrible joke, man. Burn, right? Okay, going back to the data. You see how I'm giving data and it's almost like he works for a hedge fund. It's almost like Yak works for a hedge fund and he doesn't want me to teach you this. See how he's interrupting, right? Because you know what? I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna repeat this. So Carvana, okay? I'm gonna do it again, okay? What happened to Carvana? In 2023, they've all turned positive, triple dragon. What happened to Carvana after 2023? Explosion. Palantir. When did it turn all triple dragons? 2023. Explosion. Okay. Now let's do CLOV at the end because CLOV has something special. There's a special to CLOV. Let's do AMD. AMD is interesting. AMD. Okay, here's Advanced Micro Devices. Operating cash flow 2016 turned positive. Free cash flow 2019 turned positive. Net income 2018 turned positive. So by 2019, all three of them turned positive. So let's see what happened to AMD after 29. First, it used to be, for folks that don't know, AMD used to be like $1 stock. After 2019, what ended up happening? Explosion. All right, let's look at Tesla. Right? You can't argue and say, oh, 2020, everything exploded. No. Okay, well how about 2023? Right? So here's Tesla. 2018 turned OCF positive. 2019 turned FCF positive. 2020 turned net income positive. Triple dragon. Okay, so guess what happened? After 2020? Explosion. Okay, now let's go ahead and let's look at Clover. So now let's go ahead and use our software. Again, lifetime access. You can get this right now. You could search the stocks you have right now, and you could set price targets right now. So let's put on Clover. What do you get? Operating cash flow 2024 turned positive. Free cash flow 2024 turned positive. But wait a minute, isn't something missing? What's missing? Oh, net income is missing. Why? Let me check. Oh, net income is still negative. Are you telling me that this is a 2 out of 3? This is not a triple dragon. It's a double dragon, which means that once they become profitable, which we know they're going to be soon, what are you going to get? Explosion. Now, in 2024, they were positive. So what happened in 2024? They went from 60 cents to as high as $4.86 for a 600% return, right? Explosion for the free cash flow. But guess what? Now it's 400% return. And guess what? Once they become profitable, what do you think is going to happen? What happened to Carvana? Explosion. What happened to Palantir? Explosion. What happened to AMD? Explosion. What happened to Tesla? Explosion. And what's going to happen to Clover, right? According to Mr. Yak, he thinks it's not going to work, right? All right, my friend, right? It's you against me, right? So just signed up for your software. All right, my friend. So you just signed up right now. Just make sure you go in and you integrate. Well, it depends. Let me see here. When you sign up for the software, you want to make sure you integrate so you can get access to the terminal that is all of this stuff here, but also you get access to the your members, right? The members are so, and also all this data, right? You get access to all this data, right? But you also get access to the members that have net worth of over $45 million. Just drinking some water. Hold on. Holy shit. Here's Shay. Shay, I see you. Still mocking open lungs. Let's talk again. No. Shay. I'm just a data man. Okay. You got Shay. Can you please help me, Shay? Come on, Shay. You went from saying this is a dead trade to time to sell to I loaded the. I mean, come on, Shay. You can't do this to me, Shay. Okay, Shay? Come on now. Do you blame me, Shay? Are you there, Shay Shay? Are you there, Shay? Come on, Shay Butter. Are you there? Come on, Shay Shay. Right? Right? But seriously though, right? Please explain to me your logic. And again, I know I can come off as an asshole, but I'm not. Okay, I'm not an asshole. Here, let me hold on. Oh, hold on. Okay, I posted this today. Okay. Oh, this is so. Oh, I got to respond to Lisa. Oh my God. Okay, guys, I posted this today. I don't know why I'm taking a screenshot. I posted this today. I'm going to read it to you. I wrote a poem today. Yeah, because I have a lot of time on my hands, right? I wrote a poem. Okay, so let me go ahead and do this here. Okay, so first off, let me show you Lisa. So Lisa, I'm not going to show you her profile, but Lisa's amazing, man. So Lisa, she is the dean. So she taught me business. Oh man, I love you, Dr. Ordenias. Oh man, she's the best. So Dr. Ordenias, she is the dean of the Stanley and Paulin Foster Endowed Chair, Professor of Management and Organization of the School of Business for UC San Diego, world-renowned business school. She used to be in Arizona, where she spent 25 years. She taught me about statistics. She taught me how to do some crazy stats. And where do you think I learned this from? Who do you think I learned this from? Who do you think I learned this from, ladies and gentlemen? I learned it from her. She taught me. I took her business stats class. She taught me. And let me show you how smart this lady is. Okay, this is her. See, look at all the things that she accomplished. Look at all these publications. This is a businesswoman. Okay. This lady is amazing. She has a BA in psychology, a BS in marketing, and a PhD in quantitative psychology. And then she turned into business. Incredible. I took her class during this time, way back down here, when she was the vice dean of Eller College of Management. Yeah. So anywho, love you a lot, Dr. Ordenias. I'm gonna respond to you. I'm so sorry. I just opened up the Facebook here. But Shay, listen, Shay, I'm not an asshole. Okay. I wrote this poem. Okay. Not for you, but just for everybody. Right. No one is coming. I'm speaking for myself, and maybe you might actually, maybe some of you guys may actually understand what I'm talking about. Okay. No one is coming. Not my family, not my friends, not the system. There were nights I didn't have a roof over my head. Days I had to choose between food and gas. No fallback, no inheritance. I had no inheritance, guys. Freaking homeless, right? There's no backup here, right? No secret weapon. I was tired, broke, and still moving forward. I laid every day as the best I can, lay the brick as perfectly as a brick can be laid, brick by brick, step by step, right? And I built something real with my life. It wasn't overnight, and trust me, it was not without pain. It was very painful, right? From rock bottom to where I stand now, a multimillionaire, yes, but more importantly, someone who didn't give up, right? I say this with no ego. If you're in that place right now, I know how dark it gets. But I also know that you don't really need the perfect conditions. You just need to keep going. But the sad part is you have to understand that no one's coming for you. But it's okay. You've got you. And that's enough. Okay? So yes, Shay, I may be an asshole, but this is how I teach. Okay? This is how I teach. Right? And then you were a recipient of it. Okay? So for folks that join Lifetime, you get access to all the data, but when you're in the chat group explaining your thesis, I'm going to pin you hard. I'm going to attack you hard. I'm not going to choke you, right? Unless you like it, then we can take somewhere else. I'm just kidding, right? So, I'm going to mentally choke you, right? I'm going to do a choke point. Okay. I'm going to put you in a corner and I'm going to push you until you have a mental breakdown, right? I know doesn't sound healthy, right? But I'm going to push your thesis. I'm not going to attack you like your character. No, that's stupid, right? People with low IQ do that. No, I'm going to attack what your mind is producing, and I want you to defend it. And I'm going to put you in the corner until you start hissing like a cat. Okay? And you're going to keep doing that until you realize that you're a man, you have a brain, or a woman. She might be a woman, right? And you have a brain. And what you can do is you look at the data around you, you pick up your knife, and you show me the data, and you take this knife and you jam it right in my heart. And you say, "No, Al, this is the data. It went from this to this. You're wrong. And this is why X, Y, and Z." And you show me the data and you have an intellectual battle, right? This is how institutions used to be. This is how colleges used to be before they became woke, right? We used to attack each other, not at the character of who we are, but at what we are trying to say we attacked our ideas. And then at the end, we walked like champions, like kings, because we went deep in something. A life not examined is not a life worth living. Okay. Now that's the beauty of lifetime access, because the problem is you can't, this is not something you join a month and you will fail. Okay. You need to be immersed in this. And this is a lifestyle change. This is how you view the world is a complete, what I'm doing. And then you can talk to lifetime members. What I'm basically giving you guys is I'm giving you about like 5 to 10 degrees. That's what I'm giving you right now. 5 to 10 college degrees immersed in one. That's what I'm giving you, right? I'm giving you about millions of dollars of worth of information, but it's not some bullshit theoretical academic intellectual brick moving of just doing a bunch of systematic reviews with no end. I'm giving you something that is actionable, that you can change your life with, right? So you can be in the same restaurant as Chamath, right? And still have better character. So there's that. So I hope that makes sense, right? I'm not trying to be an asshole. I'm trying to intellectually stimulate your mind. Okay. I can't do this in universities because people might they may complain. They complain to HR or equity or all this crap, right? No, right? This is better to do it outside of universities. I'm short universities. Universities have failed. They McDonaldize people. They don't teach them how to think, right? I'm trying to teach you how to think for yourself. That's what I'm trying to do, right? If you can learn how to think for yourself, then that's it, man. You got you. You don't need anybody else. Okay. You added the so far implying he's wasting his time, Clove, when he could be making alpha returns. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. This type of guy told me I wasted my time investing in Tesla right before it took off. Yeah, you see, you're going to get a lot of people like this. And you don't know if these are, trolls. Sometimes you just have to be patient absolutely. I think it's good competition. Boom, 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 boom. Let's see what else here. We love you, Al. You're such a pistol smacker. Yeah, it reminds me of oh man, what is that? Pulp Fiction. No, pistol slap your ass, right? No, laugh my ass off. My family thinks you're a good guy. No, I appreciate you, Jennifer. No, I try my best. You know what I mean? I try my best because I've been let down a lot. Trust me, guys. Listen, I've been let down a lot. I've been effed sideways many times. I've been, yeah, I don't know, like, kind of what else to tell you guys, but I'll tell you, I graduated top of my class in undergrad, 3 cross-disciplinary degrees, right? Top of my class, top of everything. And I'm telling you guys, there are people out there that because they had a father or whatever in a field or X, Y, and Z, they end up getting that promotion over you. Once I saw that, I realized that it's not what you know, it's who you know, right? But I tried to change the script. I said, you know what? That's fine. Screw that. I'm going to go ahead and figure out where is the inequality at? Where is it? I searched, and I found it. It's Wall Street, right? It's Main Street, Wall Street, right? And I'm tired of the little guy losing. I'm tired. And unfortunately, you have family. I'm sure you guys spoke to family. I'm sure Drew probably speaks to his family. I'm sure you spoke to family and you told them everything about intrinsic value. But even them, even you have close friends, you tell them, and then they have this intellectual block where they can't believe it. And unfortunately, by the time they believe it, you've already risen. And it's just unfortunate. It's an anti-growth mindset. It's a fixed mindset. But we need those types of people. And it's not their fault. It's because the system taught them to think this way. Okay, let me see here. Damn, 357 listening on X. Yeah, guys, I mean, this is pretty good. We got about, let me see here. Oops. Let me just exit this. I took a triple screen setup here. Let me show you how many people are watching right now. So shout out to all of you guys. Appreciate you for tuning in. Again, guys, I grew up with no family, right? The Lifetime Access members are my family, right? In my wedding, I'm not going to have mom and dad there, right? I'm not going to have, the typical, wedding that you would think of. I never really had a childhood life. So, this means a lot. Being able to play a small part and just sharing you guys what I found. That's all this is, guys. So shout out to the 96 people on YouTube and the 392 on X. That's 488 people. That's impressive, guys. That's pretty cool, man. Let's see what else. There it is. If I held, would have been a millionaire. Yeah, I hear this story many times. Al Stocktrades, what do you make of the volume jumping last week? Not to ask a leading question, but feels like the whole chewing into the flow. It's I agree with you, man. There's something cooking right now, and the thing is, short-term fluctuations are very difficult to ascertain. It's because of the Russell too. They got into the Russell as well. It's going to increase institutional buy-in as well as other trades in terms of volume there. But then the difference is now they actually are free cash flow positive and soon going to be GAAP net income positive. So that's going to get your explosion. But really, though, honestly, man, short terms are really tough to kind of extrapolate. But I'll tell you something. We know where we're going, right? Like I said, guys, here, like I said, we're going to look at the algo flow right now. But this is kind of like the dog on the boat. Remember I showed you guys this picture. Right now, this is me, right? I'm enjoying myself. I'm having a good time. I got my socks on. And I'm just riding the boat. Honestly, I don't like this picture. I'm going to do the other one I like. Hold on. This one the water looks a little bit more blue. I like this. And the dog's smiling. This is me right now, right? So it's so hard to determine where you go in terms of the short-term price fluctuations. But I know that we're heading towards profitability. I know. Oh yeah. I know we're free cash flow positive, right? And ultimately, it's very simple, guys. We're headed in the right direction. So we're going to get there. We're going to get to our destination. Okay. Now, here's the problem. Everyone has a different size boat. A lot of folks that join Lifetime Access because we're able to find asymmetrical opportunities. We have a Jeff Bezos style ship. Other people are going to have jet skis. Other people are going to have just a kayak, right? But ultimately, they're going to go to this same destination. They may not get the same returns that we're going to get, but at least they're going to understand and learn from these 850 videos that I made on YouTube and X. They're going to see that there is a way out of the matrix, right? There is a way out, and it's using intrinsic value calculation. It's using fundamental analysis and using the data to exploit asymmetrical opportunities to buy when Wall Street's telling you to sell, okay? Specifically, if it makes sense from a fundamental perspective and from a competitive advantage mode perspective as well. Okay, so there's that. Let me just go ahead and Al called out Palantir, SoFi, Oscar, Crowd, Strike, Energy Transfer, and so many more all before they blasted off, right? And then MP Technology as well. That's another one that's going to be doing well too in the next 5-10 years with rare earths coming into play. But yeah, you know what I mean? The data speaks for itself. And I just got tired. I got tired of going online, watching these fake YouTubers act like they know what they're talking about. And they just like, try to read tea leaves and, try to fake their subscribers, right? I got tired of these large accounts trying to basically get sponsorships from FTX before it went bankrupt to basically offload that and make a lot of money off of their subscribers, right? We have no sponsors here. You know how many sponsorship emails I get? I get so many sponsorship emails. I don't even open them, right? Because I'm already rich, both spiritually and financially. Okay, so Al's methodology works. He has the portfolio to prove it. Absolutely. And you can see this, which is why I felt like it was important to showcase this. I felt like it was important to showcase this because if people are watching 5 years from now, if you're watching this, and then you watch the portfolio of what it is now in 2030, 2031, you're going to see it works. Okay, so if you're watching this, I'm speaking directly to you in 2030. If you're watching this methodology works. Okay. I went from homelessness to becoming a multimillionaire. This works. All right. You just have to, surround yourself with like-minded people that know what they're doing. Let's see here. My portfolio. I have 5 degrees. This is better. It's actually useful. Yeah, here's Michelle. Both of us have a lot of degrees, and I'll tell you something. This is this is better. Michelle joined us. Thank you, Michelle. By the way, Michelle's my significant other. So it's unfortunate, guys. It's a if I could short look at Harvard's endowment fund. If I could short institutions, I would. Right? Institutions now are selling. My institution is selling how to use a ChatGPT course, an 8-week course, and I'm looking at them like, dude, just go on YouTube. Like, you stupid? Like, you think like these college professors know how to use ChatGPT? They probably watched a YouTube video, right? If they actually knew how to use it effectively, why the hell are they teaching, right? Why are they at an institution, right? So that's why I felt like it was important to show the portfolio, so you could see that this works. All right. Hey Michelle, turn up the AC. No, it's turned down. Actually, it's kind of cold. There it is, healthy balance sheet, et cetera, et cetera. There it is. Michelle's in the house. 14 shares. Exactly. Doesn't matter what you have. It's just you need to see the beauty of getting ownership of the capitalistic markets. Okay. Yeah, Tesla earnings trash, but honestly, I feel like I didn't look at the stock price, but I would say it's probably up, right? No, it's down 4%. Now again, it was probably up before then. Yeah, pre-anticipatory rise. The reason why is people, when they buy Tesla, they're usually buying the future, which is robo taxis and whatnot. It's at $1 trillion now, so that's impressive. But yeah, no, they're definitely trash for sure. I haven't looked at them, guys. I haven't even looked at the stock price. That's why I just made a guess. I was like, well, give it a couple months, and I think we should go back, unless the earnings were really bad. You're saying that they're trash, but I haven't looked at them. So it'll be interesting to see. Let me think. Yeah. Oh, he sounded sleepy and depressed. Oh, that sucks. Oh, poor Elon, dude. I look up to Elon, man. Elon, man, he's the only billionaire that actually sleeps on the couch. His work ethic is amazing. Yeah, I like him a lot. Yeah. So let me think. So let me just drink some water real quick. All right, so I got water in me. Let me think. Okay, so let's just go ahead and do the intrinsic value. So I think if Clover's entered a growth phase, we can assume, let's say Clover 30%, free cash flow. Let me think. Guys, I think we're going to grow 35% plus. So let me just go ahead and so doing the calculation and given that now the bull market's back online, I would say, we got 80 minus 20 plus 43 back to net income 0, then add, let's say 150, you're at a free cash flow of 253, right? That's my approximation for the next 24 months. So we'll do 253 here. and we'll do a 35% growth rate. We hit it up with the classics view, and you get a recession case of $15 to a bear case of $32, a base case of $45, and a best case of $67. Okay. So this is why I don't want to do covered calls. So now let's go ahead and do the covered calls here. So let's see. So let's say if I wanted to say, you know what, I want to I'll do a cover call. Let's say I want to do a cover call now. I think Clover's not going to go up. Obviously, I think it is. Right? That's bullshit. Right? I think it is. But just from the purposes of education, to show you why I'm not doing it. This is going to expire in one day. This covered call is going to expire in one freaking day. So let's just say right now, let's do 1 day. This is 1 day. I use 3,300 because I have 300,000 shares. 300,000 shares divided by 100 is 3,300 3,300 contracts. So that's 46. I can make right now in 1 day, I can make $46,000 for this week. I can make $46,000 this week. And if it gets out of the money, well, that's fine. I can go ahead and do a cash secured put at $3.50, and or because I sold at $3.50, and then now I can make $75,000 in next week. So I made $46,000 in 1 day, and then next week I can make another $75,000. Right. So let's keep playing this out. Right. And then another, obviously if you do weekly is better, but let's go ahead and just let's do monthly. So here's monthly. So right now with this $1 million portfolio, if I go ahead and do 3,300 shares, and if I do a call option for 29 days, which is a month, I can make $128,000. So $128,500. Let's forget the 500, right? I can make $128,000 a month right now based off of this. I can make $128,000. Okay. Now, yeah, that's good money and all. Technically, the week is actually going to pay a lot better, in my opinion. So we could go ahead and do the week. The week is, let me just make sure the data is good. Here's the week. So the week is 69,000. 8 days, that's a week. 7 days, right? So 69,000. So if I take 69,000, right? That's a good number. I like 69, right? 69,000. That's 276,000 a month. So as of right now, based off of right now, I can make $276,000 per month. Okay. Which is right now about 3 million, right? But here's the problem. The options are elongated to the upside from the percentage of the portfolio value. So there's that, given the spike. Likewise, I can make more. And let me show you how much I can make. So here's Oscar. So let's go. So it shows you how yesterday, you see how it bumped up right now, how we doubled in terms of, you can see like, this is still good money, right? You're still making in the top 0.01%, right? Exactly. Which is why I said it's somewhat misleading, because the implied volatility is high because it spiked up, which is, I said it maybe in a very academic way about 3 minutes ago, but it's not sustainable. I would say what's sustainable probably is going to be around hold on. What's sustainable is
30,000. 1 million.
Yeah, what's sustainable off of this portfolio now is about 30 grand a month. But this is pretty good payment, right? So there's that. But I'm still, even with this implied volatility, even with this money, right? Even with this, and also you have earnings exactly. But then you have 4 times though. You have earnings 4 times a month, a year, so you could still take advantage of this. Let's say if you want to go ahead and say, I'm a seller at 350, I think that's the value. You could still take advantage of this every time we get near earnings, and then go back down to 50 to 60K per month, right? But I'm not going to do that because, again, I think, because I've done the intrinsic value calculation, right? I front loaded this to prove that even with this amazing implied volatility, I'm still not doing it, right? So now let's go to Oscar. So you do Oscar now, And let's just do the week. Oh, this is the 1 day. The 1 day for Oscar. Let's go here. This is 1 day. Let's say, so that's about $148,000 this week for Oscar. Okay. So let's just 1 day. Let's do a week. Here's a week for Oscar. So $297,000 per week. So 297,000 times 4. That's about $1.1 million per a month. So $1.1 million per month. Okay. Now, obviously, you could say you want to get paid weekly or quarter. You can get paid however you want. I mean, you're the boss. You control when you want to get paid. But let's do the 29 days and let's go ahead and do this. So now every month, oh, I'm sorry, guys. Let me go ahead and, yeah. So now every month, instead of doing weekly, I do monthly, I can make $627,000. If the stock price for Oscar was 15 for Clover, right? I can make $627,000 per month. Are you starting to see where I'm getting these numbers from? Okay, now, and I'm already doing this on the larger portfolio, right? So now here's Palantir, okay? So let's go ahead now and let's do the trade options for Palantir. So for 1 day, let's go to Palantir and scroll all the way down. And let's go ahead and do this. I'm not even doing I'm not even doing cash secured puts. 1 day, $700,000. Now let's do more realistically a week. Let's go ahead and do this. That's 1.4 million a week, right? So 1.4 million per week times 4. That is $5.6 million per month, right? $5.6 million per month. That's $67 million. Oh, I'm buying calls. Oh, shit. Sorry, I was buying calls. Let me go ahead and sell calls. Thanks, man. Yeah, that went ahead and actually undervalued what I'm making. So let me just restart it here. So now let me go ahead and do this. Let's do this, and let's do 3300. So there it is. So now I'm making more, I think, right? So that's 1.4 million per week. So 1.4 million per week times 4. It's around the same. So 5.6 million per month. Okay. So now let's go ahead and do, let's say after a month. After a month, we'll go here. That's 3.7 million per month versus the 5.6 million per month if we do weekly. Right? So what am I going to do with all this money? Right? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put it all in AMC. I'm just kidding. No, I'm kidding. Right? I'm going to freaking buy a movie theater business, right? A dying movie theater. Right? In fact, actually, we actually bought a movie theater business that's being converted now. It's got bankrupted. Actually, it's being converted into a pickleball area. It's been converted to, some guy's renting it out. So, but in all seriousness, I'm going to use this money to buy real estate, right? I'm going to invest, millions of dollars in Arizona and beyond. I'm going to buy real estate, guys, so I can legitimize the wealth. And then I can take this wealth, guys, really simply. And then when there's a recession, pull money out and buy stocks because recessions cause stocks to go down. But you can see these numbers, guys, right? And I'm doing this all in real time. This is going to be a case study. And you can see the data craziness that we have. And guess what? You know what's going to inform? Do you know what's going to inform my covered calls and cash? Oh my God, guys, I can't speak. Do you know what's going to inform my covered calls and cash secured puts strategy? It's going to be the equations. It's going to be I'm going to be able to know when institutions are selling. Right now for Clover, they're buying. That's why I'm not going to be showing this online, because I've shown you this type of research goes viral. It goes viral because you get access to what the big wigs do. It's 113,000 views. I that's going to kill our edge. Okay. That's going to cause the whole stock to people are going to follow it. And that's what, by the time that happens and the stock price increases, lifetime access will be 20 to 25K. So there's going to be a big wall. And it's unfortunate, but again, the data is proven, and it's gonna like it's gonna like kind of like getting access to a country club. You're gonna be entering an area where people are gonna have a total combined net worth of over $1 billion. That's the level. That's the level you're entering when you enter my platform. Okay. You can also do support and resistance lines as well, but also, Rafiki, you forget you can't get too freaky, right? No, I'm kidding, right? So you also look at Palantir here, and you open up the graph for Palantir and look at institutional ownership, and you. So let me just screenshot this so we can zoom in on it. Again, you get access to this lifetime access to see exactly what institutions are doing. Now, this is the beauty of this. Look at Palantir. Does it look like institutions are buying or selling? They're buying. They're buying, right? So the covered call strategy is a bit dangerous, right? Unless it's 2 to 5 standard deviations above from the intrinsic value mean, right? And that we'll talk about that later when the time comes. There's a lot of information I'm holding back on you guys because I'm just feeding you little at a time because I don't want to overwhelm you people, right? This takes time, okay? I'm not saying you can't handle it. I'm just saying little at a time. It's like Easter eggs will slowly start to become unlocked, okay? So when this starts coming down or the rate starts to go down, it's like, okay, it looks like it's starting to form some form of an asymptote, right? Then we could start doing heavily the covered call strategy. But, at this point, it's very nice. You can do the covered call strategy for Palantir, but you can do it at a level that you're not in the money. You can be out of the money. You could say, you know what, man, I don't want to do this at 150. I want to do Palantir. I want to sell at 180. I want to do 180, and I can make in 1 month at 180, $180. I can make 1.2 million. And right now, so I can make 1.2 million at a strike price of 180 using a covered call. But then if I sell at 180, I can take the share price of 154 subtracted from the 180. So I'm actually making more money. 180 minus, and I get to keep my shares if it doesn't happen. But if it does go into the money, that's $25 plus $3.70. That's $29 multiplied. So I can make, let's say for example, in 30 days, in 29 days, Palantir goes up to 180, then I'm forced to sell. That's fine. I make 1.2 million plus the differential of 154 to 180. I make on total $9.7 million in a month. Then I could take that, add it into my big portfolio or real estate and compound it and do a cash secured put. So let's say we do a cash secured, it goes into 180, and then we do it. It's kind of difficult right now to do a cash secured put, and you have to do a cash secured put here because the math won't make sense, which is fine. We do a cash secured put, let's say here, that's another 3.7 million. So you see how money begets money? It's just money, 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 right? You know that song from WWF? Here comes the money. Here comes the money. Money, 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 right? That's what you're going to be singing. You're going to be laughing yourself to the bank, right? What did I tell you? I am bringing Wall Street institutionally graded data at your fingertips. That is the mission of our stock trades, and it's always been the mission. What is the mission? It's pure and simple: to empower retail investors to win against Wall Street. Plain and simple, right? You could go from calculating intrinsic value to talking to your community to going ahead and creating and generating a legit report. Actually, you know what? Let me restart this. This is Palantir's report. Let me redo this. Let me do opens. Let me just do opens report. Right? If you want Palantir, you do Palantir. You could do generate this, and you could generate the report. Actually, you know what? We've done open so many times. Let's do CLOV. Well, first off, you have to make your mind. You have to make up your mind before you hit enter. Right? That's the first step. Right? I can't teach you that. I can't even teach myself that. So let's do the generate report now. Well, let's just say F off, Al. F off. I'm tired. Right? So it's generating the report. And it's just a high grade level of report, guys. And it uses the Monte Carlo, and it gives you kind of where it thinks, hey, in 50 days, Clover is going to be $3.57. And if you look at my prior videos, you can see it's actually pretty accurate, right? And you can see we're starting to become an uptrend. We're downtrending here. This is soon to get fixed. And you can look at AI implanted support and resistance lines, what Rafiki was talking about, and all these other things, guys. You know what I mean? Again, that goes on and on, right? But this is the power of the All Stock Trades platform, right? And the beautiful part is you can get access to it as well, right? You can get access to it, and it's a one-time payment, and it's lifetime access. And you get lifetime access to all these amazing souls from all over the world, right? IVC comes close to the trading price would be a good indicator as well. Absolutely, John. You see, John, you see how you have it's like radiology, right? One view is no view, right? I give you multiple views for a stock versus somebody on Twitter or X, you know, they just have like one thesis. That's it. Interest rates drop. I give you so much information, right? Oh man. Let me see here. So that's all I have to say, guys. Yeah, that's it. Love you all. Appreciate you all. And, you know, again, at the end of the day, I'm fighting for all you guys. I'm working my ass off for you guys. I'm fighting for you guys because I want to fight for the little guy. I want to fight for the retail investor. You know, for God's sakes, just the other day, Schwab posted that Clover is a sell. Are you kidding me? These people are not on your side. They're not on your side. All right. It's time for a change. Okay. And you could just see, you know, you could see my life. Google who I am. Right. I've never wronged anyone in my life. I've always tried to put God first in everything that I do. That's why I chose medicine. That's why I chose to become a doctor. Right. At the end of the day, I realized that the system in medicine is broken, that the patients that come to me, it's too late to heal them. And the real problem was they needed money and the system failed them. Well, I've designed this to help offset the broken system that we have. This is the information they do not want you to know about. And to all the members that can't afford Lifetime right now, let me just give you some information before I go. For folks out there, because I understand it's economy's hard. We're going to be here. Let me give you the algo flow real quick for Clove. Here's the algo flow. So it's thinking that, you know, it's up really well, really good. You can see how it anticipated this jump. It's depressed now, but still going up, so we can still potentially go up higher. Let me give the algo flow for Open. It was been negative the past couple of days. So let's see where we're at right now with Open. So algo flow is coming down, but it's slowly starting to creep up. So we may potentially have a bottom. But again, you just had this huge pump, and then people are dumping. And you have institutions, yada, 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 shorts. Please watch the beginning of the video. I discussed this. But that's all, guys. That's all I have for you guys. Love you all. And I'll see you on the next one.